Hello there. Welcome to this afternoon's reading. This afternoon, I want to take a look into what is happening in November. Hello, November. Welcome. And so we have several different scents of incense here, incense sticks. We have honey, which will be pile number 1. We have dragon's blood, pile number 2. We have canela, pile number 3. And we have bergamota or bergamot, which will be pile number 4. Okay, take a moment to go ahead and choose one. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you for stopping by. If you are enjoying the content, please like, share, comment, and make sure you subscribe. If this is your first time stopping by, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. And thank you for stopping by and allowing me to speak into your life. I don't take it lightly. We're going to take a look at the energies coming in, or what will be happening in November. If you take a look down in the description box and you desire or you feel led to donate to the channel, there's a couple of links, a couple of ways that you can do that down below. All forms of love is welcome, and so it's all appreciated. Just being here and your energy is appreciated as well. But if you feel led to do more, that is welcomed also. Also at the bottom of my description box, you will also find my link to my calendar. If you would like to schedule a little short session, all of my sessions are pre-recorded, and you are more than welcome to click on the link and find a suitable time where you would like to engage. All right, let's get started. Again, thank you for stopping by. If you chose reading number 1, this will be your reading, honey, incense sticks. So let's go ahead and get started. So what is happening in November? Let's see. All right. And so for some of you, there could be the energy of transformation that has come through already. You could very well be on the other side of that transformation and just kind of cultivating and just really nursing and nurturing this new life, this new way of living, this new awareness that you've come into. And so for the month of November, I feel like you could be in an energy of really being a little bit guarded, maybe having very secure boundaries around yourself as you're stepping in and getting used to this new way of seeing things, the new way of understanding and perceiving the world, right? And so this could be the energy that you are in the month of November. If in fact you have just come into a new awakening. And just to let you know as well, there's not just one awakening. I feel like there's several. There's several different awakenings that we can experience in a lifetime. And I feel like they're all purposeful for different parts of our journey. And so for whatever part this is for you, I feel like for who this is resonating with, you could have just come out of an awakening. And so the energy around that is going to be a little bit guarded, very secure in your environment and your surroundings. You're going to be very attentive to everything and everyone around you as you stepped into this new way of being. With invite help, you could actually be attuning and connecting deeply with the divine. There could be a connection, a deepening of a connection in November where you will feel like either you could be receiving lots of synchronicities, lots of messaging, lots of things pointing you to your higher self, to the divine, to source, even possibly to your spirit team. And so in November, you could find yourself just more open to receive, whether it be messaging, whether it be, about direction, even your own intuitive nudges. I feel like November for this group is going to be very connected as well. And I feel like it's going to be more of you receiving than giving. This is the energy of receiving. And so November is going to be a month where you're going to be receiving a lot from this connection that you are experiencing right now. And so let's take a look and see what type of energy you will be in for the month of, let's see, what type of energy you'll be in for the month of November. I do see very fiery energy, as you can see here with the lion, which talks about courage. Be courageous and see your power in the world. And I feel like this is really talking about an energy of kind of stepping out of what's maybe normal or what has been normal in the past. This is really stepping out and allowing even yourself to examine and to experience the power that is dying to be unleashed within. And so you may find yourself in the month of November feeling more courageous and a little bit more spontaneity, a little more spontaneous. So you'll be leading with more spontaneity. Yeah. And I feel like it's also an energy of, through that, experiencing your power and that more free energy of spontaneity. There's some joy that's going to come in with that energy as well. This could really be the energy of really possessing what's yours, or being really adamant about letting it be known what's yours. It's almost like territorial energy that I'm feeling here, especially with the lion. They're definitely territorial. So you may be a very outspoken and outgoing when it comes to securing what's yours. Yeah. And so this is the energy that I'm seeing, is just really enforcing your strength in the month of November. And I do sense a bit of spontaneity. So you may find yourself wanting to do things, or even wanting to say things that you wouldn't normally say. But there's going to be that little nudge, that push, that's going to enable you to step outside of your comfort zone and really assert yourself in ways that you have not in the past. This may be coupled with adversity of some kind that maybe causes this part of you to come out. And so there may be a little bit of testing coming towards you in November, giving you an opportunity to really assert yourself in that way. But yeah, I do sense that energy in November. So what other energy will you be in this month? And here we have the Queen of Sheba with secrets revealed. And so there could be some things that come up in November that allows you to really be observant and really tap in. Tap into your inner truth. I feel like this could have a lot to do with you just really being open, intuitively, spiritually, as things are being revealed. And I feel like a lot of things will be coming towards you in the month of November, and your vision is going to be crystal clear. So you're going to be seeing the truth of what things are. And this may in fact be something that you didn't see prior to this month, but this month things are going to be revealed, and it's, a culmination of things, because you don't know what you don't know until it's actually sent to you or revealed to you. And so your creator, your ancestors, your angels, your spirit guides, your ascended masters, even your higher self, will be whispering to you this divine information, this divine intelligence. And so November is definitely a month to pay attention. And I can't help but see again that very fiery energy here. Yeah, very fiery energy. I feel like there could be things that you may have tried to shield yourself from. Maybe you weren't ready to see it or ready to receive it. I feel like in November, this is the energy showing that you are ready. It's an end of a previous way. That may be in regards to how you were allowing yourself to receive information. And it's a welcoming in of that. So for the month of November, yeah, just allow yourself to be guided and understand that it's safe to see your truth. Choose your own path, okay? It's safe to see your truth. Even if it only aligns with you, it's still your truth. All right. And then the energy of pride as well. This is also the energy that I'm seeing coming in for you in the month of November. And so pride is not talking about the type of pride that causes you to be puffed up and causes your ego to swell up. This type of pride is the type of pride that allows you to understand who you are, right? Understand that being your authentic self is the most important thing here. Like sometimes that will mean having to admit when you're wrong or having to see other people's point of view. Being able to live in that authentic space will definitely raise your vibration. And I feel like with this energy here, that's what's going to happen. It's going to bring you closer to your authentic self in November. And you will be faced with things that you'll have to acknowledge and accept and just kind of sweep away, all that egotistical stuff. It's an opportunity for you to step forward in your highest self, in your most authentic self. Yeah, and it's going to give you an opportunity to live your most enjoyable, your most harmonious life. And sometimes that includes letting things go, whether you're right or whether you're wrong, whether they were right or whether they were wrong. It's just letting things go for the sake of harmony and not feeling like you have to be in control or you have to have the last lick or, the last word, or you have to prove your point, And so I feel like there's going to be, in a sense, that's going to be released, causing you to come even more in alignment with your soul. Yeah. It's going to be like a building of character in the month of November. And again, it involves really being honest with yourself and others. And when it comes to admitting, when something isn't right or you didn't do something right, it's being open to do that. It's building character. And that also builds inner strength and self-esteem. It's going to open the door for resolutions and creating more harmonious relationships around you with others. And releasing that stubbornness and, the pride that gets you nowhere. So this may be the energy of adjustments coming in the way that you harmonize with the natural rhythms of your life and the cycles that are happening right now. It's rising above, okay, taking the higher road. And then, let's see, we did pull some tarot cards as well. So let's see what else is coming in November. All right. So we do have the Nine of Cups. We have the Six of Pentacles and the Star. And so I feel like with these three tarot cards, I almost feel like there's going to be like this divine exchange happening in November. The Nine of Cups is like finding your holy grail, like finding your wish. It's like finding the perfect combination, that brings total fulfillment in life for you. And then the Six of Pentacles is the energy of giving and taking. There's the reciprocation, the equal measure. And then the Star is being guided and balance. It's finding balance and kind of being guided by the universe or by your higher self. And so there's like this culmination of these three cards coming in for you in November that's going to bring this level of balance in your life. As you have this exchange with source, with the universe, with your creator, your higher self, whatever you see your source as, there's this culmination of energy here that's working and being balanced in your life. And through that, there's going to be a great level of contentment that you find if you're submitted to it and if you go with the flow that's being ushered your way. Yeah, because she's kneeling here, sending out, her desires and her wishes and her blessings that she wants to be granted. These lotus flowers are the wishes that she has sent out. And then the butterflies, as you see coming up, rising up from the lotus flowers, are actually taking those desires, those wishes, and rising, taking them up to where they can be transformed into those loving manifestations. And then we have the white dove above her head that's holding the sacred heart of love and giving. And so there's a lot of energy. I feel like where the divine is coming in is being involved here in bringing in the energy or the expectations that you are desiring in life. Yeah. And she's definitely, being aligned, staying aligned. You can see the chakras aligned on her body here. And then the red cloak that she's wearing, that's the passion, that the experience of life. That's why I'm seeing all these passionate colors here, right? So there's lots of enjoyment. I feel like that will be coming in, that you'll be experiencing in November. And then with the Six of Pentacles, this is talking about that reciprocal energy that will be exchanged in November. And here's the native, I guess we could call her the buffalo woman. She's giving the buffalo pipe, which is considered to have some connection with prayer, gifting, right? She's like handing it off. And within the pipe is actually what they would consider the spirit through which prayer and giving awareness that we are all one with everything and everyone, and desiring to walk the path of peace, harmony, and balance. And so it's not only having this for yourself, but also passing it off. I feel like this is the interaction between you and the divine. It's going to be what's given to you, and in turn you'll have it to share with others as well. Yeah. And then the medicine wheel embodies the cycles of life, and then the 4 directions, as you see the different colors, the 4 directions, the seasons, and the elements as well. Also the 4 races of mankind, black, red, yellow, white, right? And it's talking about harmony. It's talking about this harmonious reciprocation that's desired. Yeah. And for me, the stars represents the unlimited abundance that's available, that's possible through co-creation with the universe, with source. Yeah. And then with the star, definitely lots of energy here. Guiding light from the universe, from source, right? We're looking at the gray towers on both sides. This is like the threshold or the gateway to spiritual enlightenment and wisdom. Interesting. And then we have, let's see, I'm trying to see. I'm noticing these butterflies. Butterflies are my favorite, so I notice them everywhere, which we have in all of these pictures. most of them anyways. And the butterflies definitely, of course, represents the chakras. They're different colors. So it's the presence of a balanced energy, right? It's being brought to a place. The guiding light for the star is you being brought to a place, you being sent to a place where you can have this refreshing. And I almost look at this like a little, it's like a secret place, right? It's between like two pillars, almost like a cave, a hole in a wall, or some type of cave where you go to just come back and be refreshed. Yeah, and the new moon, the full moon, is like the fresh start of a journey and the awakening of a new part of a journey. And of course, the water represents the refreshing. So many symbologies in this picture, but I feel like this is a culmination of what's happening in the energies for you in your interaction with spirit, as all of the things that you're going to need to step into this energy for November. Like everything that you need will be given. Yeah. And so apart from the oracle cards, I feel like the tarot card shows us what else you can expect. It's this support that you'll have this month if you allow yourself to tap into it, okay? And so what should you watch out for? Let's see. And we pulled the devil and the strength, right? So for the devil, you may just need to watch out for things like addictions or the energy of discouragement or hopelessness or self-doubt, right? And addiction can be anything. It's really just a vice that comes in to preoccupy us from doing what we need to be doing to keep moving forward. It's a placeholder, basically, an addiction, a substitute for the positivity that could be present in that time. And if I can make that make sense, a simple addiction could be watching, lots of TV, instead of maybe going on a walk, right? Maybe your higher self is telling you to go on a walk, but instead you sit down to watch your favorite show, which causes you to allow several hours to go by really fast. Now there's no time for the walk because it's dark outside now, it's that kind of energy. Or it could also be eating, too much of something that you love. I'm naming all of my struggles, by the way. It could be, for some, well, this isn't my struggle, but for some it could be, connecting or listening to things that aren't uplifting, just things that would plant the seeds of hopelessness or self-doubt. Yeah. And this little red apple is very significant. It represents the temptation, right? The temptation that would come along to pull you off of your path, and that clouds your view, making it hard for you to see, right? And so I feel like what Spirit is asking you to watch out for is just those little subtle things that would come in and do that before you even realize, it's staying alert in that way. And we always have a choice, we do develop unhealthy patterns, but we have a choice to choose again, And so this month is being aware of, going back possibly to unhealthy habits or patterns or energies. And with the strength, what to watch out for is not cowering down. Like, I feel like this month is going to really be an opportunity. This card for me correlates with the lion. In the original tarot deck, it's the lion that you'll see, representing the strength card. And so this automatically is taking me to this energy of courage. It's making sure you're not giving away your power or substituting something else for your highest good. And being willing to stand up for what it is that you believe in, and don't let it just pass by, the opportunities to pass by without taking advantage of that. Because this month you're specifically being called to that, to stand up courageously. And it's not an act of violence. It's almost like the energy of a mama bear that charges forward, willing to give her life for her cubs. Her action isn't violent. It's the very opposite. It comes from a place of protection, right? And so November could very well be placing you in that energy in certain circumstances, right? I don't believe Spirit is saying just pop off for nothing, but it's very purposeful. Be willing to stand in your courage, stand in your power, and speak if you need to. Assert yourself if you need to. Okay. And lastly, let's see if we have any advice coming in. With flag, you're being guided not to be tempted to lower your standards. Okay. This month is bringing in lots of good luck for you. And so mentally, you want to understand that you have all of the divine help that's guiding you this month, especially with this star. This is specific guiding light for you. And so there's lots of support and good luck this month coming in for you, my pal number ones. You are also being guided to seek out information that'll help you. Keyword here is seek. That means go looking, right? If you have a need, you're being guided to go find the answers, okay? That will solve your problem. Okay. And then there's a warning that comes back around here with flute. There may be some type of disappointment in a friend or a lover in the month of November. But overall, the advice is to attune to body and soul. Right? Body and soul. First of all, it's understanding that the two are inseparable, right? And it's to understand the importance of both. This, just like you nourish your body, you eat bread, you drink water, you get rest, you exercise the physical body. The same care needs to be given to the spiritual body. Yeah. Making sure that you take time away from everything and center yourself and maintain a healthy sense of self. Yeah. I feel like there's going to be a plethora of opportunities to connect with your higher source, with your spirit team, as they are going to be all in your face in November. For some reason, I'm just feeling that. And so for November, this could be a very strong month for you spiritually. And it could be easy for you to stay full, to stay energized, to stay, filled up spiritually, because the divine is going to be seeking you this month. Okay. And in the past or moving in the future, there may be times where you need to seek the divine more than the divine is seeking you. It just happens to be this month the divine is intentionally seeking you out, right? To make sure that this balance is present in the month of November. Remember that you are a soul that manifests through a body. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. And what that means is that you're here on purpose, right? You're here on purpose. And there is a purpose why you are here. And so that needs to be attuned to. Okay, whatever that means, that could mean different things for different people. Take that how that resonates. Yeah. If you need to take breaks where you just go and spend time to yourself, to check in with yourself, right? See if you need anything. Don't hesitate to do that this month, okay? And make sure you're open and available to be led, okay? And so this is my message for group number ones. This is what's coming in for you in the month of November. Thank you for stopping by. Until next time, take care and make sure you have those ears perked up, okay? Spirit is going to be talking to you this month. Until next time, thank you so much for stopping by my group number ones. If you like the reading, make sure you make sure you share it if you feel led to. You can also comment. Let me know how it resonated or how you felt about it. You're more than welcome to open up and share. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. It does help to grow the channel. I appreciate it. If you feel led to donate, you're more than welcome to do that. The link is down in the description box, okay? Again, thank you for stopping by. This reading was for the Honey Group. Until next time, stay sweet. And for my group number twos, if you chose Dragon's Blood, this reading is for you. Thank you for stopping by. Let's find out what's happening in the month of November. All right. And so to start, we have Spirals of Manifestation. And so definitely an interesting card. Very earth-toned colors here. Let's see. So with Spirals of Manifestation, for some of you, November, there could be things just dropping into your life that you've been waiting for, that you've been working for a while, and you have no idea that this is about to come. Spirals of Manifestations talks about the fact that there is a creative way that manifestations happen. And there's a genius that can guide us on this alternate route. Common sense tells us that there's a certain way that things are unfolded, especially when we're working for them. But Spirals of Manifestation talks about a creative, rebellious path that moves in spirals, and it doesn't have to make sense. It's not the typical linear path of progression, right? But it's more of a curved loop in the path that actually allows a shortcut, and it allows things to come and drop out quicker than they were supposed to. And you are being asked to allow yourself to believe and be open to that. For some of you, it's going to be the case in November, as whatever this is just all of a sudden shows up in your life. And you're going to be in such amazement. You're going to be in such amazement because something is about to show up in November. And it's something that you think is further away than ever before. But it's right at that moment when the thing that you've been dreaming of falls right into place. Suddenly, what you were thinking is created, immediately, right? Seemingly out of nowhere, because it was always around the bend. Just because you couldn't see it didn't mean that it wasn't there. And so for someone, there's something that's going to be plopped down in your life. For others, this is the opening to this understanding that sometimes when we feel things are the furthest away from what we want, we're actually closer to it than ever before. It's just a matter of understanding that, and understanding that manifestations is not linear. It has nothing to do with time, right? And so you're being asked, if you are waiting, keep working as if it is going to show up tomorrow. Keep working on your progress. And don't worry about, believing it when you see it. That's not even faith. Faith is believing it before you see it, right? And don't worry about what other people are telling you about it should have happened already, or the fact that it didn't work, right? Don't scratch all of that. Scratch all of that, because they don't even know, right? Somehow they feel like their understanding of timing is superior to the greater divine timing at play in life, when it's not. And so don't allow people to speak doubt into your life, okay? Be in high spirits, be in goodwill with yourself and with your Creator, okay? All is unfolding perfectly, whether you feel it or not. This is a message coming to let you know that, okay? Perfect synchronicities are taking place in your life right now, okay? Some of you may already see these. Some of you are going to actually see the full manifestation of it in November. But you're being asked in the meantime, live from your heart, right? Honor your creative center and choose unfamiliar ways of seeing and moving in trust of anything being possible for our Creator. And the fact that you are co-creating makes it possible, makes anything possible. So in November, somebody's going to see that come to fruition. And then in November, there's going to be a clearing as well. There's going to be some things that are cleared, some energies that are cleared. And it could be due to some of the synchronicities and some of the things that show up. It's going to make things clear to you. It's going to be like turning on a light bulb. And with that understanding, it's going to be easier for you to just release things and let things go. And as you start to trust more things will just keep coming in, right? There's a shift that's going to happen in November. And it could have a lot to do with your mindset, the way that you believe in your divine source or your creator. There's going to be a shift coming in November around that. All right. And what energies will you be in November? All right. And we have the wolf. The wolf here. And the wolf is driving you to notice the way that you communicate. So in November, you could be in a very expressive energy in November. You could find yourself communicating more than you usually do. Or you could be paying attention to how you're communicating. And if there's any areas that need improvement, you could be pointed to those areas. This is the energy that I'm seeing you in. I don't know if this is somebody who actually is mastering in communication. Is this someone who does communications for work? Because this is a high level of communication. This is someone that not only is able to, or not only has mastered the vocal, but it's also a aligning of how you communicate with your body and how you communicate with your, how you communicate through the eyes, and understanding the patterns of communication. This is like an overall mastery of communication here. So I could be speaking to someone who is in communications of some kind, but November is bringing in that energy. There's going to be a heightened level of communication, the way that you communicate, and it's going to help the receiving of whatever it is that you're communicating to be clarified. And so there's a perfecting of communications. You could be changing up some things so that you can come across clearer. But I sense this energy around communications for someone here. What other energies are coming in? Ooh, desire. And so with Name, desire, I feel like there's going to be a huge pulling or an attraction. And I feel like with this card, it's an attraction towards you. There's going to be possibly a lot of attention on you in November. A lot of energies pointing towards you in November. This energy is pointing to a high level of attraction. It's almost like a magnet type of energy. So for whoever this reading is resonating with, there's something that's happening in November that's going to cause you to be in the spotlight, or it's going to cause a lot of people to come towards you. There's something that's going to cause you to be very highly attractive in November. Whatever it is that you're doing, just looking at the archery, she's doing something. So I feel like there's going to be something that you're doing that's going to cause a lot of attention to come towards you in November. And so that's going to place you in a highly attractive energy in November. What other energy will you be in for November? Okay, love, partnership. And so for some of you, you'll definitely be tapping into the energy of love and partnering. This is a time, I feel like November is going to present a time where love will enter your life. If you're single, November is a time where you'll be in, again, attractive energy, and you could be attracting your soulmate or your divine counterpart. And if you're already in a relationship, it's going to progress to a deeper level of understanding or commitment. And so you're being guided to, well, you're already in that energy. And so you're being guided to be open in that way. And while you're being open, also focus on what you have to offer instead of what you want to receive. And by doing this, you'll have this energy of reciprocation. So you'll attract a mutual loving relationship that actually is serving to both of you, both needs of both parties. And so that's necessary. So you have to be what it is that you want to attract. And so make sure you are encouraging yourself to stay focused on what it is that you have to offer, okay? And if you do have any type of limiting beliefs, it's being open to work on those as well. Any, thoughts about love that doesn't align with the fact that you are attracting love into your life, right? Not just letting those nuances of thoughts go by unchecked. When those thoughts come up, check them and correct them so that you can align yourself with the energy that's coming towards you. Because love is on the way for some of you. And for those of you that are already in love or in relationships, it's taking it to the next level. This is a deeper level of commitment that's the energy you're in for the month of November. Let's see what else is coming in for my pile number 2s that chose Dragon's Blood. So we have Judgment, we have the Princess of Cups, and we have the 8 of Cups. Let's see. So for most of you, this energy here talks about the energy of really being awakened to self and starting to really deepen your search within yourself, possibly for your purpose, your deeper purpose if you haven't found it, and moving away from things that no longer align with what you're looking for. Yeah. So it's almost like a resurrection or an awakening to self. It's a higher level of awareness that November is going to bring, or that you will be in the energy of. Not saying that this hasn't happened yet, but you'll be tuned into that energy in November of just being really in tune with your higher self of awareness, your higher level of awareness. That's really encouraging this new way of thinking. Lots of speaking between you and the divine. Revelations and aha moments as well, guiding and gifting you. And it's the noticing of old, worn out beliefs as well. And so in this picture, we have the ego in the background. That represents the connection to the divine. Yeah. And it's in the sky because it's representing God, the creator. And it's almost like calling to your soul and consciousness and awakening it to a higher self and to your worldly responsibility as well. In front of that ego is the bear. And the bear represents like the constellation, the Big Dipper. If you look, it's shaped in the Big Dipper. I saw that. These stars are shaped in the Big Dipper. And for those of you that don't know, the Big Dipper is associated with the 7 rays of God's breath. And then we see the rainbow streaming down from the ego. And each color of the rainbow has a sound. And this is kind of like the sound descending down into, it's like the divine flowing onto your life. And it's almost like the all of this represents the energy of renewal or renewed way of thinking and being. And of course, he's experiencing that, in the posture of worship or recognition or surrender. And all of this is happening from if you look down below, it's almost like the golden egg is cracking open and he's being birthed out of it through this experience. And also the rainbow represents, I feel like too, the chakras, right? The alignment, the energy flow through the body, keeping us balanced and healthy. Yeah. And he's facing the mountains covered in snow. It's almost like the energy of the on-site of a spiritual journey, mountains to climb, a spiritual journey that, can be achieved. It also symbolizes blocks and limitations, the peaks and the valleys between the mountain, on top of the mountain. This is the energy of this ongoing spiritual path of enlightenment. And I can't help but notice the lotuses blossoming, symbolizing resurrection and purity and spiritual illumination. And so there's so much imagery here, that comes through with this energy that's going to be experienced in November. There's this enlightenment that has happened, and you'll be surging in that energy in November, and you'll be at tip-top awareness, with things that changed, things about you, things about the way that you think that's changed. It'll be at tip-top, attention for you in the month of November. And then with the Princess of Cups, which brings in just seeking something more in life, seeking the Holy Grail, She's definitely Cups energy, which is very sensitive and emotional, highly intuitive, definitely imaginative, someone who dreams from realms of the unconscious, And so there's the seeking happening here. And lots of imagery. That's what I like about these. They are very beautiful with the imagery. Even the picture is kind of dreamy in a way too. Yeah. And so she stands on what looks like a scallop, right? And it's almost a time. This is a picture, imagery of time, of a time when feminine or goddess was revealed on the earth. She's resting on the water, the ancient temple ruins, and she's holding the Grail cup, which is surrounded by the lotus star, the medicine wheel all around, and the open lotus, which is a symbol of the unfoldment of the divine within self. There's a deeper self here, a deeper enlightenment of self, and a full awakening that's happened, right? That's the energy that we have here. And then the cup itself, which we call the Holy Grail, is decorated with jeweled seahorses. And the seahorse actually symbolizes the discovery of secret treasures in the heart space. I find it interesting that these are several different colors, from red to orange to yellow, all representing the lower chakras. But I don't see any, I see a little bit of green, but it's all representing the lower chakras. That's interesting. And then we see flying fish as well. And that's like the unconscious moving the veil of consciousness. It's like the inner guiding force. And it's almost like turning from a fish into the white dove, which symbolizes the messenger between heaven and earth. This is so beautiful. It's almost like transformation right before your eyes. And then we see the sea turtle here, symbolizing the magical blessings we receive along our journey in life. And the dolphins, which represent that very playful, intuitive, and intelligent energy. And so I feel like this is the energy, the experience of the month of November. And we can't leave out the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups talks about seeking truth and moving on. So there's lots of transition. I feel like that's what this represents. It's the energy of transition. And the Eight of Cups brings in a time where like things are shifting, and there's like creative restlessness within self, and possibly the feeling of being unbalanced that's causing you to reach towards balance or higher heights. Where you are now is no longer working, as you see the spilled cups. Where you are now, or what you're doing now, has run its course and it's no longer working. And so there's the need, or there's the energy of reaching for higher heights, reaching for something that's going to bring a greater level of fulfillment. Because what it is that you have or where you are is no longer inspiring. And so the inner journey that you're experiencing is beckoning you to move up, to move up. And so you see the woman ascending towards the surface of consciousness, and then the star that hangs just above the clouds. And so there's an illumination happening inside of the star. That's like the way to the higher self. And she's been on an internal quest, through life, through mountains, looking for the sacred light, of healing and love and clarity. And so she's being guided, I feel like, by the dove, symbolizing courageous love and peace in her heart that's bringing her to her true self. And of course, we have dolphins again, that very playful, balanced, very intelligent energy. And then we see the Eight of Cups at the bottom again. Some are knocked over, you know, some are still up. That just indicates, you know, a situation, a relationship, a job that appeared to be successful in working on the surface, but is no longer fulfilling within. It's no longer fulfilling, you know, the way that it possibly did at one point, or maybe it never did. And so there's a seeking for a deeper understanding of self. There's like an inner eclipse that's activating the energy to move on and let go. And of course, the rainbow again, shining brightly with promise for new gifts, new opportunities, promises that are being fulfilled. Okay. And she's moving up towards it. And so, what should my group number twos be aware of? And we have the Knight of Wands, and we have the Six of Pentacles as well. And so for the Knight of Wands, let's see, why should my group number twos be aware of the Knight of Wands? And so for the Knight of Wands, this usually is the energy of actually really good energy. It's movement, it's travel, possibly. But why be aware of the Knight of Wands? Maybe moving too fast, being too excited, and not taking the time to think things through when opportunities present themselves. So I feel like Spirit could be warning you to just be aware of haste, of jumping the gun, you know, and not doing the necessary work before making a hasty decision. It could also represent like scattered energy. Don't allow yourself to be stretched so thin with trying to do everything that you enter this energy of imbalance, where you're rushing to do things and half doing them, you know, or not having a necessary plan to make sure that things are done right. It's almost like needing to follow the script. And then with the Six of Pentacles, why is the Six of Pentacles here, Spirit? And why should my group number two be aware or watch out for Six of Pentacles energy? Usually this is also balanced and harmonious, but it's to watch out for, this is talking about like reciprocal energy. Be careful and watch out for imbalanced investments, or something that looks good, but actually if you did the homework, you would find out it's kind of weak. And not being too trusting or too generous. I feel like this could have a lot to do with the fact that you will be in very, very attractive energy. And so there will possibly be lots of people, lots of things coming at you, desiring, you know, energy, desiring attention, desiring possibly resources. It's being careful in that way, not to rush or just assume that things are good, but to actually do your due diligence and looking in before exerting any part of yourself this month, okay? Any advice for my group number twos? Ooh. So be aware that great passion is coming in the month of November. There could be situations that arrive where you'll need to possibly make sure you have good boundaries up. Don't be caught off guard, is what Spirit is saying. Make sure that you establish good boundaries, because boundaries protect you. They also protect the other person or the other people or entity. It also protects the relationship, whether it's business, whether it's personal. You need good boundaries. And I feel like Shield is reminding you of that. You have to have good boundaries. And Shield could also be letting you know to protect yourself. Protect yourself. And know that when you start to stand in attractive energy, you could possibly be not only drawing in people that want something, but you could be drawing in the energy of jealousy or envy, or, you know, someone trying to come in and wreck what you have. And so there's a need to guard yourself and to shield yourself. Know what's for you and what's not, right? Even when people would throw things at you to knock you down, know what belongs to you and what doesn't. You don't have to accept every invite to a battle. And it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to, right? And so make sure you have your shield up, because there are definitely possibly some negative forces around you that will be active and possibly trying to do things beyond your control. And so what you can do is protect yourself and make sure that you have good boundaries up, and make sure that you are guarding yourself. There's also some dealings with the man here. Let's see. I don't know about this here, but I don't know if it's the man that you should be aware of. Let's find out. I just want to clarify that for you really quickly for my group number 2s. This man, this dealings with or relationship with a man. Queen of Cups. What is this? Should they be guarded against this? Clarify this, Spirit. Ooh. So the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups came out with this man here. Interesting. What else about this man, Spirit? New beginning, or offering of some kind. So there may be a need to be on guard here. I have 2 different feminine energies here. Someone could be very well offering something to do 2 different people. You could find yourself being one of them. Definitely the energy of marriage, contemplation. So there could be someone that has you on their mind, but know that you are not the only one on their mind, okay? To be informed is to be empowered, and I will leave it there. And lastly, because we did have love come out here, so we need to know. Thank you, Spirit. And then lastly, we have the Royal You. And that's in the advice. And so we will end it with that. So for the Royal You, this is just bringing you back around to remember your sovereignty, your responsibility to self, your confidence, your governing of self and ownership of your feelings and your actions. And, you know, you taking full responsibility for self-empowerment and self-awareness, and allowing outside influences to bring you out of alignment with your truth. Okay? And so, knowing your worth, it's about holding your own inner sense of worth and integrity, being secure in what you believe and that you have a unique purpose, and knowing, taking responsibility for knowing or finding out what that is so that you can operate in that and stand in that, because that's where your power is. Feeling comfortable in your own skin, it's just really understanding the potency of the authentic you in everything that I named. In everything that I named. And when you know that, when you stand in that, there is nothing that can challenge your authentic self. The hard won seed of awareness that you have come into or earned for yourself. The fact is, you are the ruler of your mind. Okay? At the same time, you're responsible for the discipline that's needed to apply to your thoughts so that you will know that and you will remember that and you will stay consistent with your values and operate in your beauty intended for your overall life. And it's all about staying focused on what's right and good for you as well as others. And so November could bring in challenges in that way, but you're being reminded to remember that. Remember who you are. Yeah. If the challenge is presented, speak up and set your boundaries, or present your boundaries with grace and surety, right? It's like a calm, intelligent leadership that's being called forth from you. It's knowing how to pick your battles, so that you don't be caught up in unnecessary drama and, give away your power aimlessly. And so in November, this is a time to really lead from your heart, from your authenticity, and from your integrity. And know that you can hold your head high and know your worth. Okay? It's bringing you into your true sovereignty, and stay there when you get there. All right, that is for my reading number 2. If you chose Dragon's Blood, this reading was for you. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Beautiful energy I'm feeling here today. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you like the content, please like, share, feel free to comment. All of those things helps to build the page and is so much appreciated by me. And so thank you for stopping by. If you feel led to donate, hey, I won't say no. The link is down below. My calendar link is below as well. If you'd like a personal session, I definitely would love that as well. It's all open for you down in the description box, okay? Thank you to my group number 2s. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Until next time. Welcome to my group number 3s. If you chose Canela or Cinnamon, this reading is for you. This is for group number 3. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. If you are enjoying, make sure you like and subscribe. If you are new here, if you are not new and just returning, welcome back. So today we're talking about what's happening in November. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, thank you for stopping by. So in the month of November, we have in the world, not of the world. So in the month of November, there could be a greater level of you just standing in vulnerability or your true nature. I'm getting authenticity. There's a level or a emergence of authenticity happening in November. There's definitely a level of unpacking is what I'm hearing that's happening in November. There could be a change in the way that you see life, even a change in the way that you have experienced life this far. There's a stripping off of beliefs or strongholds, security blankets that has been held on to. There's a releasing of that, a releasing of the conditioning of how, you think around certain things in life, or how things have kept you away from having, the enjoyment and the ability to be vulnerable in the level that you may have wanted to in the past. So November could be bringing in a change in mindset in how you see yourself or how you show up in the world. This could speak of a releasing of certain defenses that we have held. And they may have absolutely been necessary at certain points in life, but in November, there's a realization that they're no longer needed. I feel like there's something that has been outgrown here. And it has to do with ideas about how you do things, or time, or control, also money as well, and how you trust and live fundamentally in the world every day. Yeah. So there's something changing with mindset here and how you show up in the world in November. I feel like there's going to be things that are loosed here, or let go, or something that's being held too tight or too restrictive. There's going to be a releasing of it. And there's going to be a more expressive, a freer way that's going to be noted and that's going to be accepted. Doesn't necessarily mean that you'll wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden you're living free, but it's the way that you perceive life and the way that you show up in life. There's going to be like a releasing of ideas or preconceived notions about how life should be lived. And it's being drawn into this process of that releasing. Yeah. So there's going to be a deeper level of trust as well, I'm feeling. What else is happening in November? Ooh, flow. Yeah, and this is going to be something that is ushered in. Interesting. We have the flow, the currents flowing, and then we have the flow here. I'm getting lots of emotions here with the water. It's definitely going to be something divine is going to move you into. But there is a releasing that needs to happen, though. There's a releasing that's going to happen. This is what's happening in November. And there's going to be things that are just like these fish are going around her. There's going to be things that are moved and shifted around you, and you'll have the opportunity to observe this happen right before your eyes. The divine is going to move things around you and reorganize things in your life. And you're going to see this to assist you in that way. And as you see these things reorganized and shifted around you and moved around, you're being asked to respond in like peacefully, harmoniously, and calmly. Just kind of go with the flow. Okay? I want to find out what energy you are in the month of November. And so I have priestess, intuition, priestess, intuition. And so November is going to be a month where there's going to be a connect to the highest wisdom of the divine feminine. It could also be the divine masculine as well. There's going to be a high connection when it comes to wisdom. And this is going to definitely be something above what you know. There's going to be a divine connection being filtered in the month of November. And this may very well tap into lineages. It may tap into ancient wisdom, sacred knowledge. And so in November, there's going to be a unique activation, opening up to the soul light is what I'm hearing. There's going to be an opening up of senses and intuition in a great way, a profound way. As we see right here. Yeah. And so there's something major that's going to happen in November as far as connection and as far as this change in what you know and how you see things. And so if you're someone who actually connects, if you're a meditator or a prayer, you're being guided to make sure that you make that priority in November. And if you're not, to add that into your daily list of things to make sure at the top of your list, top of your priority list, that you would find time to connect. Because there's an activation that's happening in November. And as this happens, you want to make sure that you're grounded and balanced. So there's a need to make time to connect. This could have something to do with spiritual sight. This could be a expansion of your imagination. Definitely filtering in ancient wisdom. This could have something to do with visions of the future. This activation. And so there's a movement into higher realms of thought here. of higher realms of intention and experience. And there's a moving away or a leaving behind. There's a moving away or leaving behind of old thoughts that were limiting. Yeah. And so for those that this applies to, if it's making sense, there may be a need if you're not connected to a community, to a class or a group. This could be something that happens in the month of November. There could be a connection. You're looking right now, and you will connect in November if you have not already. That's going to be able to assist you with this development. And also to be open in November to experience alignment back to your higher self. There's some type of connection with Isis here as well. And so that's what I'm seeing for the energy, for the start of the energy. And then we have Sacred Lust. It's interesting because this card comes out quite often. I didn't realize all my cards weren't in view. Let me move up a little bit. So Sacred Lust. And this one comes out quite a bit. And it's very interesting to me because this card actually points to the energy of having this very heavy level of sensual, creative energy. But it's pointing to the energy of, sensual ecstasy and experiencing that. And this energy of giving and receiving, and the fact that we were created in this particular capacity to experience this. And so it's understanding in this month of November that there's nothing wrong with that. Some of you may in fact experience this, right? This may be part of that change happening, is your ability to accept this part of yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. We were made in this image and in this capacity to experience sensual ecstasy. And so November may be a month where you're just burning and on fire. Burning and on fire. Really stepping into that energy and daring to embrace your sensuality. And I feel like this is going to be something that just kind of sets the world around you on fire. You could be someone who has red hair. That's just brought to my attention. Someone who is very curvaceous as well. And I want to add on to the fact that so many times we just leave it right there. The sensuality is given for pleasure, but there's also an area of our energy system, and it's called the sacral chakra. That's where all of our pleasure centers are. This is where we feel pleasure and our ability to align with that as our authentic self, but it's also our creative center. And so that energy also aligns with our ability to create and allow creativity to flow through us. So not only will you be in this energy of sensuality, heavy sensuality, you will also understand that while you feel that heavy sense of sensuality, you're also aligned with creativity, to allow creativity to flow through you uninhibited. And if you think of it in terms of being the tool, not the creator, but actually being the actual tool of creativity, right? So think of a painter that's sitting down in front of his palette and his whatever he's using to paint his mural or his picture. We'll just call it a board or a wall. And he's about to paint, right? He needs something to actually paint on, right? So he needs the brush, he needs the actual paints, and then he needs a surface of some kind, a wall, some type of paper or a board of some kind, right? And so the energy of creativity is flowing through that painter's hands as he paints and strokes the paint onto the paper with the actual colors, right? There's the energy that's flowing through him. Actually, he's not actually the creator, but he is being used as a vessel. He himself is a tool being used for creativity to be poured through him and expressed outwardly. And so think of it in that way. When you feel that heavy sense of sensuality, you are ripe, is what I hear Spirit saying, for creativity to be poured through you. So whatever your method, whatever your way of expressing your creativity, that may be a perfect time for you to engage. That may be a perfect time for you to engage. If you write, write. If you sing, sing. If you dance, dance. If you speak, speak. Whatever that is. If you sculpt, sculpt. If you write skits or, do that, whatever it is, that might be the perfect time and energy for you to allow creativity to flow through you, is what Spirit wants you to know. So November may be a highly creative month for someone. November may be a highly creative month for someone. What other energy is coming in for our group number 3s? Ooh, okay. So we do have a very heavy or a heightened sense of joy around parenting. And so for someone here, there's a high level of connection with children or parenting. And parenting doesn't mean you have to have your own children. You could be, stepping in on someone else's behalf to help raise kids. There's just that connection there with children. There's that energy of teaching and nurturing and guiding. The next generation. And this may have a lot to do with being in a position to help raise the vibration of the earth, right? Through this skill that you have. Whoever you are. You work with children, you're fostering children, you're adopting children, or you're raising your own children, caring for them, guiding them. And November will be a month where I feel like you will be honoring or being honored in that capacity as it relates for what you do in your role in the life of a child. Yeah. And it's pointing to the importance of what you do. Yeah. And don't underestimate that, is what I hear Spirit saying. Let's see what else is coming in the month of November for my group number 3s. All right. And we have the energies here. We have the moon and the Hierophant, and we have the devil. All major arcana, first of all. All major arcana. And so, energy, interesting. And so, if we were to work backwards, the devil brings in the energy of recognizing the bondage that is present. The moon brings in energy of transformation. And then the Hierophant brings in the energy of the teacher or the spiritual advisor. And so if we were to start with the moon, now that we've recognized them backwards, the threshold, right, of transformation, there's something changing here, or there's an ending of something. I feel like the moon is bringing in here. There's something mysterious in the works here. The moon does usually symbolize things like feminine energy, intuitive energy, hidden things, mysterious things, this dream-like energy. But it also brings in the energy of transformation. And it brings intensity, right, to any situation, the moon. And there's a sense of unexpected realms here. It's like the gateway to a new and unknown reality. And so as I look at this picture, I'm looking at the two gray towers here. That represents the threshold or a gateway to like spiritual enlightenment or wisdom. And then in each of these towers, there's the moon cycles that are happening here. And that signifies the cycles of nature or the cycles of life as time, goes on. The left tower represents the waxing cycle, while the right tower represents the waning cycle. And so the two wolves here are like the guardians of this threshold, as well as the guides that assist one through, the dark times or the dark unknown path ahead. One symbolizes like the natural animal instinct and mental thoughts when combined, they both symbolizes the natural animal instinct and mental thoughts when combined, and it expands the intuition. And the wolves actually represent the unconscious self and the conscious self, as well as the light and the dark aspects of self. And in native culture, the wolf was actually known to be the teacher, right? The wolf is the teacher. but also they were known to be the guides to the sacred mountains where there's greater medicine in the lakes in which the world is reflected, right? And so if we look forward a little bit, right past the wolves, there's the greenery there, the forest. And then that's where our path begins. Beyond the forest, you'll see the path leading up to the moon. That's where our paths begin, leading us through that unknown territory. And it's covered where the trees are. So it's not quite clear where we're going or where the path is leading, right? But underneath the trees, it comes out onto the golden pyramid there, and it's climbing to the top where the medicine lake is and where the moon reflects all the wisdom and rebirth. If you notice here on the top here, we have the owl, of course, truth and wisdom. Down here, we have the crayfish emerging from its watery world of the subconscious onto the moonlight of illumination. He represents the watery world of subconscious. And being led onto the spiritual path of development. And then we have two ravens here, like in the dark here, which brings in the promise of healing. And they're bringing in courage to enter into that darkness. They're like rooting on the crayfish. And so there's this whole imagery of being led on this path of greater awakening or greater understanding. Not quite sure how it's going to unfold. There's a lot to yet be known and explained. But it's the idea that there's something greater beyond. And then with the Hierophant, which is actually the teacher as well, right? Teacher energy here. The Hierophant is known to be the teacher as well. This brings in the energy of times, again, where you might feel a little bit lost or confused or off-center or disconnected in the labyrinth of life and uncertain how to get back to your true self. This is the time where we go in and seek the wisdom of the Hierophant, who is a spiritual teacher, an advisor. He's a revealer of sacred information, helping to reconnect to the soul self. And so I get the energy from both of these. Like during the month of November, there could be a sense of soul searching because there is a lack of clarity or just the energy of feeling lost, not quite sure where you're going or who you are. There's just this sense of wandering that I'm getting from this. And from that, though, there is the energy of seeking. From the wandering comes in the energy of seeking. And I'm looking at his crown, which is just bursting with stars. And that talks about the connection. This is the spiritual path. It's like the conduit connecting him to divine intelligence. And then there's like a little medicine wheel sitting on top of his crown. And this is like the ever-changing cycles or the path in life. He has on a breastplate with 12 different gems. This is like used by the high priest, right? Remember we were talking about the high priestess? This is where the high priests come in. So we're not just talking about the high priestess, we're also talking about the high priest as well. That breastplate was used by the high priest in Hebrew tradition during ceremonies, right? It's almost like a sign of acceptance into the higher realms, the sign of being marked as one that has been approved to enter behind the veil. Yeah. Let's see. There's so much imagery in here, but you get the picture. Let's see, anything else stands out to me. I see the bear and the bull that's standing out, or the Taurus. So actually the Taurus is the sign for the Hierophant. You could be a Taurus watching this, or the bull is related to the Taurus, which stands behind him on the right side, which represents earth. And then the bear on the left side represents the feminine receptive side, as well as that very feminine, introspective, dreamy-like energy, right? And so there's the enlightenment happening here. Out of the darkness comes the light, right? And so in November, and I don't know if you've been feeling a sense of wandering before November, or if this is the energy you'll be feeling in November, that's going to lead you onto a spiritual path. But that's the energy I'm getting here, the energy of feeling lost in some type of way, or not sure of which way to go, which is going to lead you to be guided to find out, which is going to set you on a path here forward. Yeah. It's almost like there's the recognition that danger is imminent. It's not fully developed, but it's imminent. And so with the devil here, this is just the energy of recognizing your bondage, recognizing that there is something that's, uncomfortable, something that's void, and the need that's present here. There's a need here. So that's what I'm getting in November. And so let's find out what should my pile number 3s be wary of or be watchful for in the month of November. So we have the World, the 10 of Wands, and the 10 of Cups. Yeah, so let's see. What should my pile number 3s be weary or watch out for? So with the World here, this could definitely be the energy of onlookers. I don't know why I'm getting that, being watched. But it also houses the energy of completion. But in this position, what you should watch out for, I feel like it's the potential to keep moving forward in a way that doesn't feel right. If you've been getting that sense that something is off and not sure about, where you're headed or how things will turn out, that's an indication that there is a need to seek clarity. And I feel like the World brings in the energy of making sure that you don't allow yourself to bring that void energy to completion. Like, make sure that you are listening and connecting with yourself, because that's what's going to lead you back to the right path. And there's the need for a deeper vision here. I'm getting energy of limited vision. So there's the need for a wider perspective or a deeper vision. The understanding that everything is interconnected, and there's a need to see that. And so be careful that you don't bring that energy of that void to completion. If your higher self or your inner voice is telling you to turn around or to change something, be very diligent and listen. Make sure you're connected with yourself in that way. With the Ten of Wands, this is definitely burnout energy. Avoid burnout energy. Avoid trying to do everything for everybody and not taking care of yourself, not taking breaks, not listening to your body, not delegating the responsibilities to others to help with the carrying of the burdens that should be being shared. Right? And I don't know if that's because there is the level of control that's desired or needed. It doesn't have to be. But if it is, releasing the control. Releasing the control so that you don't have to carry it all. It's not necessary. Yeah. And so in November, if you need to, delegate some of those responsibilities to those around you that share in the benefits that you are connected to in life. Okay? With the Ten of Cups, normally this is very planted, youthful, creative energy, or celebratory energy, excuse me. Stable as well, though, as we see the cups stacked here. But in a blocked energy or a reversed energy, it's never having enough. It's not being appreciative for what you have or where you are or the position that you maintain right now. And so there's the need to not get caught up in over materializing things, right? It's almost like a balance. There's like the love of simplicity, and being able to be content right where you are at any moment. Even though you may be waiting on things to get better, find contentment in the moment. That'll bring what you're waiting for in that much faster if you're able to do that. But until change comes, it's being able to be content, still being grateful and thankful. Okay? So try not to be caught up in the energy of needing more, and not being content or satisfied or thankful for what you have. Is there any advice for my pile number 3s? Any advice for pile number 3s? So this could definitely be a time in November, if you're able to, like I said, take some time off. Take care of yourself. If you're able to take a vacation, do it. If you're able to do a staycation, maybe you're not able to actually go away somewhere. Maybe just staying at home and, retreating in your home space. That's a vacation as well. pulling away from everything that's pulling on you so that you can really pour back into yourself. Yeah. Whatever it is that you're working on right now with this star here, I feel like it'll be successful. And so the advice is to keep doing what you're doing. If what you're doing is causing success and is causing fulfillment and abundance, whatever that is, keep doing that. Okay. There could be a new opportunity coming towards you for a job or even a career change. And there may be some interactions with a younger woman. This could be a child. I'm feeling like this could be a child, a daughter, that will need to be highlighted for November. Maybe there's the need to really attune to that connection a little bit closer in November, okay? And then for our last piece of advice, feeling the world. And so the advice with, as we close out for group number 3, is to allow yourself to be sensitive to your interactions with the world and how you're perceiving things. And, you know, not only that, allow yourself to be sensitive to the way you're connecting with people around you. And so this is talking about just not having yourself caged in, but be open to receive and to respond and to feel what's going on around you and to interact energetically and emotionally with the world at large, but also setting good boundaries so that you're not overstimulated, so that you're not over accessing yourself to those around you to where you're just running yourself ragged. Set good boundaries, right? The world needs you, but you need you as well. And so keep those things in balance is what I hear Spirit saying. Don't be afraid to say no, and assert yourself in ways that are necessary. Being open and available does not mean that you have to be a people pleaser, but it means having a balance with making yourself available, being discerning about that. It's actually having checks in place for your own safety, emotionally and spiritually. Okay. And so for the month of November, my group number 3s, this is for you. Lots of passion in the month of November. Some really beautiful energies expanding in the connection and the giftings and the relationships. And so I see lots of beautiful things coming in this month and lots of self-discovery coming in as well. There could be some gray areas that you will be clarifying or kind of set on the right path to reach clarity for those areas. All that's coming out in November for you, okay? So this is for you, my group number 3s. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Comment if you feel led. Let me know how it related, what you thought about the reading. If you are first stopping by and this is your first time, go ahead and subscribe. It helps to grow the channel. If you're returning, welcome back. But make sure you're subscribed, okay? If you're returning and you still haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. All right. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate your time, your energy. Definitely a beautiful energy. I'm excited for you for the month of November. So if you chose cinnamon or AKA canela, this reading was for you. my group number 3s. Until next time, remember to make space for yourself, okay? Thank you. Hello, my group number 4s. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. If you chose Bergamot, this is your reading. This is group number 4, the last reading. We're taking a look at what is happening in November. Thank you for stopping by. If you are enjoying the content, make sure you like. Make sure you also hit the subscribe button. It does help the channel to grow, and it would be much appreciated. So let's go ahead and get started. What is coming in for group number 4 in November? Visions of life beyond death. And this is master number 44 as well. So I feel like this card is talking about a sacred vision awakening within you. And I feel like there is a the spiritual gift of seeing. And so this could have something to do with I think it's clairvoyance, being able to see past what the naked eye can see. True insight. So there could have been a time where being able to see was considered, or there were consequences tied to that. But now we're in a day and a time where there's little consequences to actually appearing to have this ability or this gift. This was once possibly something that was dismissed as like as an irritation or irrelevance to spiritual significance. It may have been seen as mundane at one point in time, and not really something to be paid attention to. But the gift of genuine vision actually is along the energy of being as the universal creator is. This particular gifting is definitely sacred. It's actually something beyond logic, so you can't think your way into this energy. And it really goes beyond anything conventional in any way that you could think of that word. And so in November, I feel like for you, group number 4s, there's the attuning to this energy, this gift. And so things may actually appear to change shape around you. And I am going to describe like things that may come into have you experience them in November. So you could experience things appearing to change form, or to shed, or to be lost, or things may in fact die. But it's wanting you, I feel like Spirit is wanting you to understand that love is always within. And so if there is some connection of love with these things that change in some type of way, shape, or form, understand that the love is always there with you. Of course, understanding that doesn't take away the pain, but it helps you to, it also probably doesn't take away the grief, but it does help you to kind of view it in a different perspective. And so this is the understanding of life after death, right? Life after death, and the understanding of what that looks like, or the reality of what that is. And so let's find out exactly how that perspective is going to change for you. Because visions of life beyond death is really talking about changing our perception about how things unfold in life and around us, and how things affect us. And it's really the act of leaving behind the smaller view for a more expansive one, and acknowledging a greater power at work. Yeah. And so there's the guidance here coming in November, that you are to understand that you're being watched over. You know, you're being covered and protected. And even if there are things that are bothering you, understand that they're not able to harm you, that you will prevail over that thing, whatever it is, whoever it is. And if you're concerned with people getting away with things that maybe you feel like that you have no control over, or there was no justice given in that situation, or maybe something or someone was blocking your path, right? It's guiding you not to worry about it, because there's an energy, there is one called the all-seeing eye of life that sees and perceives everything without exception, right? And so nothing gets by, nothing is missed. And the truth of the vision of the all-seeing eye will always be met with justice, mercy, and wisdom. And so there's a shifting of perspective that will be guided in November for you, my group number 4s. And it's about your perspective and how to look at issues of concern a little bit differently. Okay? And yeah. So let's find out what else is happening in November. Visions of life after death. Energetic clearing. There's an emptying here happening. And so this emptying, this energetic clearing in November may come through a crisis. It may come through crisis. And it's a little bit of, I feel like this is what Visions of Life Beyond Death is touching on. It's the energy of those things that would come in and distort the perspective of peace, or the perspective of happiness that we at one point in time viewed life to be, right? Crisis comes in to distort all of that and takes all of that away. But what's being guided in here in the month of November, you may in fact find yourself in these situations or in these energies of tumultuous storms. But the perspective change is to understand that you are being guided, you are being protected, and things are being shaken up to be cleared. It's almost like a karma that's being paid off, if that makes sense. And so through this is also the opportunity to release fear and attachments and replace them with love and security. It's an exchange for our preconceived plan for the divine's luminous plan. Okay, so whatever happens in November, right? Understand that there is a greater scheme of things at play, is what I'm hearing. Yeah. And that's the energy visions of life beyond death was talking about, is being able to see past what you see with your physical eyes. Because there is a physical reality, but there's also a spiritual existence as well. There's a physical law. There's also a spiritual law as well. And the spiritual law overrides the physical law. So what you see in the physical that has not been dealt with or balanced out does not mean that it hasn't or isn't being balanced out in the spirit. It's understanding that and seeing that from the spiritual perspective, okay? Let's find out what energies you will be in November. And we have the great central sun, which talks about unity. And this energy is becoming aware of the ideas, the consciousness, and the existence beyond the known, right? What we just talked about here, right? These cards, they come out and they align. It's always amazing to me how they just align with each other. And it's becoming aware of ideas, consciousness, and existence beyond the known. The great central sun, right? Which is our solar system. The sun is actually the ruling celestial body of all universes that exist in parallel times and space. That concept is actually, it's beyond our rational thought-based mind, but at the same time, it alerts us to the concepts behind what we can see and what we can make sense of, or what makes us aware of the unknown. Yeah. And so the energy, this is the energy of the crown chakra. And that's where we can actually access our unity consciousness, our oneness, even with star energies, with our cultural connections and consciousness, and the unlimited thought is through the crown chakra. All of those energies actually resonate at different frequencies. And they call different things to light for us. And so there is this energy of being able to see things in a greater expanse. I almost feel like there is going to be a removal of the veil, right, for you in November, whoever this is resonating with, where you'll be able to cross connect with different dimensions or different frequencies. And then there will be a connection of the oneness, the consciousness as a whole, unity consciousness. Interesting. I'm trying to get my head around this as well. Great central sun, unity. So there's going to be like a connection to unity consciousness in November. Yeah, and there's going to be like an ability that's activated or brought to your awareness that you already have, where you're able to reach beyond the known and open up to new thought. There's going to be like a raising of consciousness, a time of great inspiration and potential to new ideas and creations and consciousness. Yeah. Let's find out what other energies are coming out in November for our group number 4. We have another master number. Gang Sarah brings resistance. And with the resistance, there's the energy of fear present here that's being dealt with. The fear of messing up something or making a mistake or stumbling in this new energy. And the energy of also kind of leaving things undone, like abandoning dreams or resisting your own magic. That energy is here. But in November, there's going to be an unleashing and unlocking. There's going to be an energy clearing to unlock your powers, your magic. When it comes to stepping into your greatness, resistance is no longer going to keep you stuck, right? What once blocked you has been unblocked, and creativity and evolution is going to flow through you and for you. Whereas once you found yourself procrastinating and feeling just tired and a little lazy, maybe disorganized or making excuses, all of that is being energetically cleared through some type of crisis that's going to happen. Motivation is going to flow. And so everything that looks bad is not necessarily bad. Some of it is coming to remove blocks. Understand that. Look for the blessing in things. Whether they seem good or whether they seem bad, look for the blessing. There's deeper forces at play here. Yeah, November, you are going to show up as you really are. And the things that held you back before will no longer do that. After this freeing, after this energy clearing that's happening. Okay, what other energies? Individuality, yeah. You're being asked to show up as yourself without comparison, without having to look around and see what's being said or who's doing what or who's there supporting, who's not. You're being asked to just stand in your individuality, because what you've been called to, there's not a group of people, but there is a thing, there is a call that you've been given. specifically with your name on it. Other people may identify with it. Their callings may be similar, but it's not yours. And again, we have another master number here, 11, the third master number in this spread. So you could identify with the master 44, you could identify with the master 22, or the master 11. Your life, your calling does not look like anybody else's. Maybe similar. There could be some points that met at the same time under the same circumstances, but the whole path that you've been given is different. I love when people refer to it as the life school, because really we can really make similar comparisons in that way. We're going through a life school, and each one of us have our own study plans because we have different strengths, we have different struggles, we have need to study harder, in different subjects, or some subjects may very well we can do with our eyes closed because we were gifted with that. And so it's different for everybody. And it's understanding that. So I feel like in November, there's going to be clarity that is, brought up like never before. There's going to be clarity that's realized like never before. How your individuality shows up for you. And you're going to stand in that, with a great sense of satisfaction, with a great sense of pride, that yours don't look like everybody else's. And it doesn't have to, because it's yours. It's yours. Does that mean that, you no longer serve the same creator that the other 1 million people around you serve? No. It just means your way of serving the creator is different. It's different. It's tailor-made. Your lesson plan is tailor-made for you as an individual. Now, you will connect collectively and have a lot of things in common, but where you stand is an individual place. Yeah, it's an individual place. And there's the need to embrace that. I feel like that will be embraced in November. Your authentic self. Not following the crowd, not feeling, pressured to do things the way that everybody else does them, or the way that everybody else thinks you should do them. But understanding that the road that you on has been paved for you and for you alone. You may very well be that square peg, and everybody else's place of rest may be round. Well, yours isn't round. Yours is square. And so it's just different. And so in many ways, there's the need to build your own, to create your own way, or to find your own path. And it takes courage to do that. But I don't think that's an issue here with my group number 4s. Speaking your truth. Marching to the beat of your own drums despite opinions. What other people think, that's not your business anyway. Besides that, it's impossible to please everybody all the time. So you must focus on aligning with yourself and your creator. And it's reclaiming your personal power as you align with yourself and connect with source for yourself. And that's where that energy is going to come from. To do everything that you set out to do, okay? Let's find out what else in November for group number 4. All right, so we have the Knight of Swords, the Four of Wands, and the Lovers. Okay. The Knight of Swords, the Four of Wands, and the Lovers. I almost want to feel like this is really, it's either really feeling a place of security in yourself that you've never felt before, to the point that you carry that security everywhere you go. Like everywhere you go, you make it home, or it's cultivated, or it's like everywhere that you go, that place is formed around you. That's the energy that I'm getting. Like every place that you step, it's almost like the energy you feel when you're at home, cultivating that sense of love and security, but carrying that everywhere you go to replicate that feeling everywhere you go. And everywhere you go, actually changing to replicate what it is that you have at home. It's like the world catering to your needs is the energy I'm getting. The way that you are seeing things, the way that your perspective is going to be shifted. That's how you're going to see things. Now, will other people see it that way? Probably not, but what other people see doesn't involve you. Huh? And so let's see, with the Knight of Swords brings in the energy of humanity, like a healer of humanity, or the finger of God, right? It brings in that kind of energy. The Knight of the intellect, the healer of humanity, the finger of God. He is on charge, right? It's almost like angelic energy, archangel energy. And then we have the Four of Wands. With the Four of Wands, this brings in the energy of completion and celebration, that very comfy, cozy energy of making your space beautiful or feeling at home. This also has been known as marriage energy. I don't know if I'm feeling that with this spread, but I don't want to negate anything. That definitely could be what that is coming in, but I feel more like completion, feeling really pleased, you know, with your environment, your surrounding, feeling at home, a sense of inner celebration with how you're feeling where you are. And then with the Lovers, this is actually the energy of like sacred marriage or a healing union. Doesn't necessarily mean it has to be with someone outside of yourself. This could be you coming into union with you. You coming to reconcile with all parts of yourself. Your feminine, your masculine, your light and your dark. Your light side, your shadow side. Yeah. And that's what I'm getting. I'm getting this energy of really feeling not lucky energy, but feeling cared for and feeling taken care of. And knowing, right, that you are the apple of God's eye in November. You may have moments, or the whole month of November may bring in this revelation or this feeling of you being very endeared. And so the Knight of Swords is usually the energy of the dealing with the intellect. It's a champion, intellectually, definitely a channeler, right? I'm getting that energy here with the sun, that unity, you know, channeling from the crown chakra, and the messenger of divine source and the master at creative and intuitive thinking. It's that energy. Definitely tapped in, you know, and connected on a higher level. That is where that energy comes from. It's being connected. And looking at the picture, it's almost like the sword, you know, he's holding and charging from the heavens towards the earthly realms, holding his sword, which represents virtue and protection. And he's holding it upright and kind of ready for action, you know, focused and intent on a mission, right? He's all armored up as well, ready for opportunity. And there's like a little snake that's perched up on his helmet. And snakes actually represent rebirth. They represent renewal and purification, this life force and healing, right? And this is like on his crown chakra. That's what's on his mind as he's charging forth amongst all of the lightning bolts. That's actually bringing him spiritual enlightenment and realization of personal truth and expanding the awareness and the awakening of new thoughts and ideas, right? Which is also additional to Pegasus. He's riding on the winged horse, which carries that same energy. It's awakening, new thoughts and ideas, consciousness being brought forth, right? Yeah. And of course, we have the astrological wheel of fortune here, which brings forth gain of insight, or, you know, knowledge of one's destiny. And it shows the balance between heaven and earth, right? There's just so much symbolism for what is happening for you in November. So lots of clarity coming in through connection with the divine, through connection with all of creation, right? And we have the Four of Wands as well, which talks about that energy of celebration and achievement and reward. It's almost like coming to a place where you can now sit down and just relax, realizing a passion of yours and enjoying the fruits of your labor. It's that kind of energy. The two bears sitting here, you know, just kind of frolicking and enjoying, you know, what they have. And of course you can't see this, but there's two trees on each side. That represents the wands. The Four of Wands, which are actually holding up the harvest here at the top that's being enjoyed. And again, the cubs, the bears, actually represent duality. Again, that we were talking about here, the masculine and the feminine, the light, the dark. It's representative of duality. It's understanding the reality of balance that exists in each one of us. It's that greater perception realized of what things are. And not just being one-sided, but it's realizing the reality of everything. Yeah. Let's see. And again, we have another wheel here. But this wheel symbolizes wholeness, individualization, and completion and new beginnings, right? This is the celebration of accomplishment. And then lastly, we have the Lovers. And again, this actually has been known to be associated with marriage, a commitment, a celebration in that way of a union. And then we have the Lovers along those same lines, a healing union, a sacred marriage, definitely multifaceted and complicated. There's two images here, male and female, are idealized in the Garden of Eden, you know, in innocence, discovering all of the things at our disposal under free will, right? Before any decisions are made. It's in that light. It's the beauty of life, you know, before anything comes in to spoil that. And we see the Archangel Raphael, who is above them as the healer of light. He's known to actually open our hearts to light. He's known to heal and to bring our consciousness levels up. He's known to heal the mind, the body, and the spirit through the light of unconditional love, through our Creator, through God. And then the sun represents the light of the divine. We also have a dove here, representing, you know, the Holy Spirit, the light as it descends, peace coming over to heal and to bring us into our truest selves of expression. And then we have the man and the woman here in a moment of devotion, commitment, and of course, sacred marriage to each other. And it could also represent the sacred marriage to oneself. It could represent you coming into understanding of all parts of yourself and bringing all of those together. Yeah. And so overall, I feel like, of course, we have butterflies again, representing the beauty of transformation. Can't forget that. We have the cup, which represents the feminine, the garden of receptivity, flowing of love, and the pool of all possibilities. And we have the sword as well in this picture that brings in the masculine aspect, bringing thought and imagination into action. And then the double-edged sword, which defines one's needs and choices that we make in life. And so there's the balance happening here. And I feel like overall this is, you know, the energies that are coming in as things are being cleared out. There's a sense of clarity when all is said and done, and of really understanding and knowing who you are. And being really comfortable in that. Being unshakable in that for my group number 4s. Is there anything that my group number 4s needs to be aware of or watch out for? So we have the 2 of Pentacles, the 9 of Swords, and the Magician. And so with the Two of Pentacles, why would we need to be aware of the Two of Pentacles? This brings in the energy of juggling or switching back and forth. It also has a little bit of excitement here with this green ribbon, a little bit of fun, you know, from the heart space. But this brings in the energy to be watchful because you are still in like the early stages. And so, yes, you're comfortable, but it's also a need to really understand that you're in the very beginning stages of what's happening. And there's a need for practice. There's a need for consistency. There's a need to understand the seriousness of setting or getting from this very beginner stage into the more settled, advanced stages, right? Because it's in the beginning where things are most likely to fail or not to stick, right? And so this is understanding for whatever you could be doing. It could very well be talking about this energy here. But something is just beginning. And it's okay that you're not like 100% comfortable with where you are because you just began. Don't let yourself be fooled by that, or don't let doubt come in and swipe your confidence, okay? And it's a growth that's happening right now. It's understanding that you're growing towards your fullness. It's not necessarily linear, but it's circular, right? And with the Nine of Swords, that's definitely being in your head about things, having a loss of hope and anxious, right? Avoid this energy as much as you can. This is about your internal psychological state of mind. Okay, I feel like there's a need to really balance out the mind with the heart. Don't be too much in your mind. Don't be too much in your heart, but try to strike a balance between the two. You know, not overly emotional or dependent upon, you know, emotions, but not really overly thinking about everything to where you just kind of stress yourself out but never come to a resolution. Kind of strike a balance between the two, but definitely stay out of your head, because being in your head too much is what leads to hopelessness many times, or sometimes depression, sometimes anxiety. And so yeah. Lastly, we have the Magician. And with the Magician, the desire or the need to really watch here, this is definitely elusive energy. This is talking about magic. And so I feel like we're talking about not necessarily magic, but that elusive energy that it's almost like energy that you can't grasp. I feel like it's referring to this state of mind that we were talking about with the great central sun, becoming aware of ideas past the known. It's not getting stuck there, but making sure that you are grounded, not getting stuck in like moon energy, which is very dreamy, very fantasy-like. It's not grounded in reality. And so I feel like Spirit is wanting you to avoid becoming overly stuck in that energy, but there's the need to be balanced and grounded, right, in the earth at the same time. That requires discipline, right? However you ground, it requires discipline and purpose, understanding why you're doing it and the need to do it, okay? So get an understanding for what it is that you're doing, okay? And let's find out, is there any advice for our last group, number 4? Any advice? So you can actually expect for good things to come towards you, one of which could be money, resources could be coming towards you, along with these changes that are happening and these clearings that are taking place. Definitely an increase in psychic ability, this connection that's happening in November. You're being asked to really trust your intuition. Really trust your intuition. There could be moments in November where you actually are feeling really tired, or you could have the feeling of feeling restricted or frustrated or tied down or just yoked in some type of way. That's where that grounding is going to come in. And if you're not sure what that is, go ahead and do a little research and seek information about grounding and the need and the necessity for grounding, okay? So our last card is a tall tale, and this will end off our reading. And so this particular oracle card is dealing with sound. This is dealing with communication, like creativity, listening, being heard, writing, ideas, sharing, and vibration. And a tall tale is the energy of denial or concealing the truth. So you can kind of manipulate the situation. That's why we have the Pinocchio on the magician's hat. It deals with control of a situation, or wanting to control how things are being seen, how you're being seen. And it's related to fear-based communication, or the creation of narratives to hide behind, not allowing the fear of what others think to influence your words. And then also learning to communicate from a space of authenticity. And so I feel like that's in the advice as we close out this last reading. It's understanding that you don't have to you don't have to conjure up stories to feel this sense of control, or to feel this sense of feeling like you will be accepted, or people will accept what you have to say. Yeah. Sometimes we can do that without even realizing that we're doing it. Honestly, it's so easy to do that. But when you're grounded, it's almost like a red flag that goes off inside of your body that alerts you of what you just did. And so being grounded, being in the energy of being grounded, doesn't allow you to get away with that. And it brings it to your attention and sparks it immediately, like, uh-oh, what just happened? You know? And it's important to understand the repercussions of manipulating stories and information in that way, and how they many times turn into something much bigger than they really were supposed to be. You know, one lie turns into another, then, you know, it's just ongoing. And sometimes it's just an indication to come back to ourselves and find out why we are feeling the need to lie. What is the motive behind it? Sometimes we don't feel like the truth is good enough, or we don't feel like we're good enough, or we want to feel like we need a way to keep doing what we already know we probably need to stop doing or shouldn't be doing. And so in the advice, it's just asking to make sure that we are being authentic and being truthful, and be willing to pay the price, to be okay with being vulnerable, right? Even if people don't agree, right? It's being okay with being transparent. And for all of us, no matter where it is that we're going, transparency is going to be necessary to get where we're going. And to truly be authentically empowered, it's necessary to reveal strength of what's true and authentic, because no matter how they receive it, it's still true, it's still authentic, and it can only add on to what is true and authentic anyway. Anything else, it won't lead to that same path. It's going to lead somewhere else. And so that's in the advice. That's what Spirit wanted to say, is to make sure that the truth is at the center of each of your stories and your narratives. Because if it's freedom that you're looking for, then the truth is what's going to get you there. Okay? It's going to get you there. And that's for you, my group number 4. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you chose Bergamot, this reading was for you. I hope it resonated. If you like the content, please like, share, definitely comment. Let me know how it resonated, what you liked about it. Yeah, I appreciate the feedback. And I hope I did well with time. But anyhow, that was reading number 4. That concludes today's reading. Until next time, I do appreciate you. If you do feel led to donate to the channel, the link is below. All support is appreciated and helps the channel to grow. If this is your first time, make sure you subscribe. And I will see you all next time. It has been Sunfire369. aka Letty Speaks. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.